are you guys doing?
Good.
My name is Julie Kremer, and I'm going to be presenting to you guys today about the importance of spaying or neutering your dog or cat. Now, as I'm sure you guys all know, at one point, many or all of us may have had a cat or dog at some point in their lives. How many of you guys currently own or have owned a cat or dog? Raise your hands. Okay, pretty much everybody. All right. So I can tell you that not only does spaying and neutering your pet increase the longevity of that animal, it also helps to eliminate certain diseases of that animal that apply only to those types of reproductive systems. It also helps to control the pet population, and it can also decrease the chances of certain unwanted behaviors from happening. But first, before I go into all of that, I wanted to tell you a personal story of how I witnessed this firsthand. So I have been a veterinary assistant at Blue Pearl for about 7 years, and one case stands out to mind. So we had an adult German Shepherd that came in, and she had pyometra, which is basically a secondary infection of the uterus. That is what a pyometra looks like when it is removed. This German Shepherd had had a litter of 11 puppies, and only one survived. Now, the German Shepherd, from what I remember, was over 5 years old. This pyometra was an instance where the German Shepherd had not been spayed. And so it was good that she survived. However, it was unfortunate that 10 out of her 11 puppies did not survive. So again, it's just a personal example of something I witnessed as to why it's important to spay and neuter your pets. So again, up here, importance of spaying and neutering. Prevent certain diseases such as neoplasia and infection from occurring. It can prolong the life of the dog or cat, and it decreases the frequency of undesirable behaviors in a household. Also, it assists in controlling populations of pets and feral cats and dogs. So, you guys may be asking, I'm sure a lot of you may know this already, but what is spaying? Can anybody tell me, just in a very brief statement, what spaying is, the procedure of spaying?
Removing the uterus.
Removing the uterus, that's right. So basically what it is, it's just removing the reproductive organs from the female. And so then for neutering, what can somebody tell me about that one, very briefly, what that procedure is?
Removing the testicles.
Removing the testicles, that's right. Removing the testicles and other reproductive organs from the male cat or dog. Okay, so, all right. So going into it, spaying and neutering. Okay, so kind of talking about longevity of cats and dogs. So what was very interesting was there was a paper that I read about. It was published by a professor in the Department of Biology at the University of Birmingham of Alabama. His name was Ousted. He and his postdoctoral associate, Jessica Hoffman, wrote this article entitled, "Do Female Dogs Age Differently Than Male Dogs?" And in this study, they studied, it was around, their test subjects were about 3,000 British dogs. They found that not only they analyzed sex differences. They found that neuter female dogs were the longest lived sex, intact females the shortest lived, and males of either neutering status being sort of intermediate in longevity. So the data was controlled for body size and restricted to dogs that died of 3 years of age or older. So an underlying cause for this longevity is, again, reducing the risk of those certain diseases that can affect either the male or female reproductive systems. So certain diseases that females can get if their reproductive systems are kept in for too long, they can get pyometra, as I mentioned before, secondary uterine infection. They can also get possibly uterine prolapse and certain kinds of cancer. For males, they can get certain kinds of testicular cancer and prostatic abscesses. That's just a couple of examples. Kind of leading to that, different hormones such as testosterone and estrogen can also play an effect. they can influence certain behaviors of the dog or cat, certain behaviors such as aggression, urinating, or spraying in the house. These effects are greatly reduced when you spay or neuter your pet. And then going into overpopulation of dogs and cats, when you spay or neuter, that can help reduce that. And a really cool, again, study that I found was that in the late 90s, it was estimated that between 2 million dogs and 4 million cats were euthanized every year, with some estimates being as high as 18 million. And in 2002, the Journal of Applied Animal Welfare Science, they published a study that was conducted in a Florida County Animal Service. And the study began in 1995, went over a period of 6 years, and basically, in short, they found that the percentage of impounded cats euthanized were decreased before and after the program, and the percentage of adopted animals increased. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation. Thank you so much for listening.